Everyone, now I'm here at Gaira Patan, and at the back of me it's the office of Liebert, and we are going inside to ask few people questions related to climate change. Okay, now I'm here inside the building of Liebert, and to ask few questions to Resma Udas regarding climate change. And please introduce yourself and your organization.
Namaste. My name is Reshna Udas. I am working as a project officer in Liebert. It's local initiatives for biodiversity research and development, and I'm working as I'm looking after climate change related activities.
So, what are the facts on climate change that you have found out till now?
If we looking at the ground and reality in data and facts, we can find the changes regarding temperature, rainfall, and the events that used to occur in the past, like floods, landslide. But the impact that they used to have before has been accelerating. The impact has been increasing. Working for the welfare of the farmers, especially the farmers who are mostly dependent on rain-fed agriculture. Like we have been working from the ground, mostly making aware of them about climate change. Like climate change will obviously impact the temperature and rainfall, and those impact will directly link to the farmers, their production. So sensitization is very important in every step. To the farmers, we have been doing the sensitization work and also supporting them with the adaptation fund, so that they can improve their livelihood, or they can diversify their livelihood options. And also we have established a network. It's an NGO network on climate change. There are altogether till now there are 124 network members, and we have been strengthening their capacity regarding climate change, so that they can advocate and lobby regarding climate change with the government in the national levels. And other things to include are we have one project called Climate Diary. It's to make students and farmers aware on the climate change issues. We have we have established a weather station in their community, so that farmers and students, both of them, can go and record. They note down what's the temperature of today, daily temperature, and if rainfall occurs. And in this way they can learn how the temperature has been changing. We don't have to go and tell them about climate change. They can they have been realizing the temperature is changing, the rainfall pattern has been changing, but they can now have the scientific, if not scientific, but evidence. They can have the data how it has been changing. And similarly, we have the project called Home Garden. It looks after the crop diversification. It's in the small scale, but in Home Garden we promote the species that are tolerant to climate change. They have the high capacity, they have the quality to bear the stress. And similarly, other projects we can include, we are promoting local resources, local and the species that are underutilized, that have the value, but if we see the case of Nepal, we have been changing our food habit. The people who used to have meat once in a week, in 2-3 days, they are now having meat. This means that consumption of meat is increasing. This means that we are producing more greenhouse gases. So making them dependent on these local resources, local foods like vegetables, fruits, promoting green. Similarly, there are other activities too, but to mention, these are the few.
So there has been a very good activities going on right now. And what do you think is the best way for adaptation and mitigation regarding climate change?
If we look down at the adaptation, increasing the adaptive capacity of the people, that's the most important. We need to increase the adaptive capacity of the person. Besides that, empowering the community, because the climate change effect, who will be bearing the effect of climate change will be the community and at the local level. So to the people, we must make the different adaptation plans depending on their situation, their geographical condition, and their adaptive capacity. and like we need to empower the community. That's the most important thing. And the next thing, like through mitigation, in mitigation, like we have to take the crop factor of Nepal. Like right, it produces so much methane. Like if we can cultivate instead of rice that produces less greenhouse gas, then we'll be working towards mitigation side. And into others, like there are different activities or programs, let's say coming to Nepal, includes RED activities and like low carbon development strategy. And the most important thing I think is that government must be very strong to do any activities. Government must like impose some strict rules, regulations. Until and unless government is strong, like nothing can be done.
Yeah. And the next one, what have you been working with government to reduce the impact of climate change?
Like I have already mentioned, we have a network. We have been building their capacity to advocate with the government regarding climate change. And one side is that, and the next thing is we have been including preparation of NAPA. We have prepared LAPA, like local adaptation plan of action in far western region of Nepal. And similarly, currently we are involved in developing community adaptation plans.
And do you have you make any policies and advocations regarding climate action?
Like we have been advocating against climate loan.
Yeah.
Like this NGO was very strong to influence government against climate loan. We were like against climate. We are saying that Nepal shouldn't take climate loan, and our network member, they strongly advocate against it, though the government took the loan. But now we are seeing forward to like how the government will be utilizing that loan. We are playing the role of like watchdog for government.
Critics. And lastly, what's the message to the world?
Like
do
climate,
this, don't do this, something like that.
Save Nepal. I just want to say that save Nepal. We are very vulnerable, though Nepal has not been contributing to this greenhouse gases. We rank 4th in the world to get affected by climate change. So please, world, save Nepal and save yourself too.
Yeah, thank you very much. With Pushpa Raj Tiwari sir, who is, I think, one of the scientists regarding climate change. Sir, please can you introduce yourself?
My name is Pushpa Tiwari. I'm not really actually a scientist, but I'm working on the climate change research project. That's why I have some idea on the research part. Also in the development sector, in climate change sector.
So everybody has been talking about climate change, but is it real?
Climate change is real, but there are two kind of school of thoughts at present and discussing two school of thought. One is climate change is like it comes again and again, or it is not climate change. It will happen in some period of time and it will calm down, cool down, and again. That is one of the school of thought. And another school of thought is climate is changing and it is increasing from past. That's the two school of thought. At present, the second one, the climate is increasing, temperature is increasing. That is more to discuss, and many people around the world is supporting second school of thought. So we have to accept climate is changing.
So what are the latest findings from your researches?
There is in the climate change there are very limited research we have, and then our research in line with climate change is very limited. But from last 2 years we are working on climate change and livestock. What we found, the changing the effect of climate change is not, sometimes it is direct, sometimes it is indirect. The indirect effect is that the temperature is rising. That has caused the loss of the water sources, pasture, whatever, and that caused the decline the livestock populations, and also sometimes we can see the livelihood options is also changing, especially in the mountain district, Kumla, Sulakumbu, Mustang, these districts. We are continuing research, and we are also trying to dig out in different aspects of with the human health, the livestock, parts or agriculture, women or clothes, whatever. And what we can easily say this time temperature is increasing and some erratic rainfall and other events exist and if we analyze the climate data or some meteorological data, we can easily observe these kind of things. And other indicator we use like mosquito. Since last recent days, we can find the mosquito in the high mountain, which was not before.
That's interesting. But what are the immediate steps we should take?
Still, our research is not enough to make some sort of concrete decision on the climate change. So, what we can do. First, we have to sensitize the people and how it affects the people and their livelihood. That is, immediate action to be taken. The sensitization, how it affects, and if people realize, they try to adjust them from their own resources. Otherwise, climate change cannot be addressed from the global perspective. And there one example, climate change effects is global, but action should be taken in local. That's what we talk. So its effect is globally, but action should be taken in locally. That's why first thing to sensitizing people, and we have to demonstrate people from the evidence, not from asking the people. They don't do because it's changing, and we have to pursue some other effective parts that like the plant. If the temperature rises, plant cannot survive certainly, and they cannot grow. Thus we have to show them so they can easily understand and they can start to cope, take the measures to cope the climate change effects.
And everyone has been talking about adaptation and mitigation measures, but what are the faster ways to adapt and mitigate?
Development, when we talk with this adaptation, we have to align everything with the regular development process, and the efforts should be integrated manner, not only doing one place to develop one kind of things. That will not resolve the problem itself. So we have to make a integrated plan that can use to develop all sectors, especially focusing on livelihood options. We have to generate or increase the livelihood options. For example, agriculture is the major livelihood options in Nepal. If we add some other livelihood options, for example, remittance is increasing day by day. That is not the in-source, but from our local countries, we have to develop other livelihood options. For example, currently our agriculture is cereal-based focus. We can go up in the fruit-based, horticulture-based crops and other things that also add another livelihood options, and the tourism industry and other things we can. That helps the people to empower themselves. That is the solution. Otherwise, people we like giving the peace to the people, not teaching them how to fish, fishing. That's it.
So, will the sustainable development have to do with climate change?
Of course, the sustainable development is the integrated approach. So we need to bring the different stakeholders together, and we are opening together and develop the sustainable plan and implement through participatory approaches, and every stakeholder should have to own this is our own program. That's why we can cope with the climate change adverse effects.
So finally, what is your message to the world?
Just we are talking the climate change global problem, so we have to work for climate change more integrated, more participatory, in a collaborative way that we can solve the problem of the climate change. That's the thing.
Okay, thank you. Okay, would you please introduce yourself?
My name is Pratima Sharma. I am doing bachelor's in software engineering from Gandaki College of Engineering and Science.
So being an engineering student, have you ever heard about climate change?
Climate change, I guess, is the most debated and talked about topic in this decade.
Yeah.
It has not failed to reach all the nooks and corners of the world. It is the reason that we are facing and the problems with floods and landslides, the problem that many people are separated from their families, the reason that farmers are having difficulties with agriculture, the reason many people are dying due to starvation. And yes, I know about climate change a little.
No, you know climate change much, so what do you think is the main cause for it?
I think there are two factors that are affecting climate change. They could be human and natural factors, and but the main reasons climate change is that we are observing climate change would be biofuels, agriculture, and the use of land, misuse of land, I mean.
Okay. And do you have any idea how can you fight against climate change?
I guess we could fight against climate change by working towards mitigation and adaptation. No matter how hard we deny, climate change cannot be stopped. It can be reduced but cannot entirely be stopped. So with adaptation, we could learn new ways how we can cope with climate change. Like we could use solar panels for lighting inside our homes. We could use paper bags instead of plastic. In that way, we could adapt to climate change. And with mitigation, we could try to invent new ways that can stop climate change from affecting our lives the way it is affecting now.
Okay, and what do you think is the role of youth like you in climate change?
Youth are the future of the world. We are the makers of the future. So youth like us should work towards reducing the way climate change is affecting our lives. We youth can start small projects inside our own communities, like making people use paper bags and paper materials instead of plastic. We could use bicycles instead of motorbikes, to go to our colleges or places that we can go easily instead of using the biofuel. We could even go to villages where the people know that climate change is affecting their lives but don't know how to cope with it, and we could teach them the ways they could get adapted to the climate change.
Okay, and why youth involvement is must in climate action?
Like I said, we youth are the future of our world, and if something bad will happen to the world, then we will be the ones to suffer. So we should work to create a better future for ourselves. We should work to reach all reach as many nooks and corners of this world as we can to make a better future for ourselves.
And lastly, what are your messages to the world and policymakers?
My message to the world would be that let's not panic. This is, no matter how hard we try, we can't stop this climate change from happening, but we can somehow work to reduce the way it is affecting our life, and let's all work together to save our planet.
Okay, Pratima, thank you a lot.
You're welcome.